Have you ever wondered who the richest human being in all of history was? Not just today's billionaires like Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos, but when we adjust for inflation and compare across centuries, empires, and medieval kingdoms. Today, we're counting down the top 10 richest people in history, with fortunes so vast they make modern billionaires look like paupers. Let's begin. Number 10. Mir Osman Ali Khan. Our list starts with one of the great unsung billionaires of history, Mir Osman Ali Khan, the last Nizam of Hyderabad. At the height of his power in the 1930s and 40s, Khan controlled vast resources, enormous tracts of land, and some of the most valuable jewels on Earth, including the famous Jacob Diamond. While exact estimates vary, when adjusted for inflation, his wealth is often placed in the hundreds of billions in today's dollars. He was so rich that he could literally use one of his most valuable diamonds as a paperweight, a symbol of wealth few could imagine. Number 9. Tsar Nicholas II of Russia. In a distant second place among royalty sits Tsar Nicholas II, the last emperor of Russia. Before the revolution swept him from the throne in 1917, Nicholas II controlled an empire that spanned 11 time zones, millions of subjects, and vast natural resources. Estimates suggest that his personal net worth, when adjusted to today's dollars, would land around the $300 billion mark, placing him among the richest individuals in history. Number 8. Andrew Carnegie. From royal autocrats to industrial master builders, at number 8 we have Andrew Carnegie, the steel magnate who helped build modern America. Carnegie controlled Carnegie Steel, which fed the industrialization of the United States in the late 19th century, and then sold it in a record deal to J.P. Morgan. When his wealth is adjusted to modern dollars, some estimates place Carnegie's fortune in excess of $300 billion, and that's before accounting for his extensive philanthropy in libraries, education, and science. Number 7. The Rothschild banking dynasty. Number 7 is not just one individual, it's a family. The Rothschilds weren't mere bankers. They were the architects of modern finance across Europe for centuries. From London to Vienna, from Naples to Paris, Rothschild wealth financed governments, built railroads, and underpinned global economic expansion. Some historians estimate that the core family fortune, at its peak and adjusted for inflation, could reach around $350 billion or more, depending on how you measure it. Number 6. Jacob Fugger. Way back in Renaissance Europe, one man would come to wield wealth that made princes and popes jealous. Jacob Fugger, known to history as Fugger the Rich, dominated mining, banking, and trade in the 15th and 16th centuries. Fugger financed emperors, kings, and knights, and when his fortune is translated into today's money, some historians place him comfortably in the mid-hundreds of billions. Number 5. John D. Rockefeller. Fast forward to the Gilded Age in America, and we arrive at a name synonymous with wealth: John D. Rockefeller. Rockefeller founded Standard Oil, creating a monopoly that dominated global oil production. Adjusted for inflation, his peak net worth is often estimated at over $300 billion, and by some accounts, even higher, a figure that eclipsed the fortunes of almost everyone else in his era. His wealth also had impact. He funded universities, medical research, and public health initiatives that shaped the modern world. Number 4. William the Conqueror. At number 4, we go back to medieval England and meet William the Conqueror. Yes, the very same William who led the Norman invasion of England in 1066. After seizing the English throne, William compiled the Domesday Book, a detailed record of land and wealth across his new kingdom. This was the first time a ruler systematically calculated national wealth, and it all belonged to him. He controlled virtually all of England's land and its taxable economy, putting his adjusted net worth in today's terms around $230 to $250 billion, a staggering amount for the 11th century. William didn't just rule, he owned. Number 3. Augustus Caesar. At number 3, we step back even further into history, to Augustus Caesar, the first emperor of Rome. It's one thing to have personal wealth, but Augustus didn't just have personal wealth, he controlled the wealth of an empire. At the height of the Roman Empire's power, Augustus is estimated to have controlled roughly 1/5 of the entire empire's wealth. When translated into modern numbers, that's on the order of trillions of dollars. Think about that. A single person holding sway over wealth that would dwarf almost every other individual in history. Number 2. Emperor Shenzong of Song, Between Augustus and the richest of the rich, another imperial powerhouse appears, Emperor Shenzong of China's Song dynasty. He presided over an economic revolution in medieval China that included agricultural innovation, commercial expansion, and a tax base so large that his personal influence equated to wealth in the tens of trillions in today's valuations. This wasn't just personal money, but linkage to the largest economy of his era, and now the richest person in all of history. At number 1, the title goes to Mansa Musa, the Emperor of the Mali Empire. Mansa Musa ruled in the early 14th century over an empire that controlled more than half of the world's known gold reserves at the time. Gold wasn't just wealth, it was the backbone of the global economy. When historians and economists try to estimate his net worth adjusted to today's dollars, some place it at hundreds of billions, and possibly into the trillions. His famous pilgrimage to Mecca in 1324 became the stuff of legend. He traveled with tens of thousands of attendants, loaded dozens of camels with gold, and gave away so much wealth in cities like Cairo that local prices were affected for years. This wasn't just enormous riches, this was a fortune that reshaped economies. So if you thought Elon Musk's hundreds of billions were impressive, think again. Even the richest modern tycoons don't rival the sheer scale of historical empires and the influence they wielded. But let's take a moment to reflect on what richest really means. Is it the number of dollars you accumulate, or the impact that wealth had on society, culture, and history? John D. Rockefeller may have reshaped global business and philanthropy. Mansa Musa and Augustus Caesar reshaped entire civilizations. And Emperor Shenzong and the Rothschilds altered economic systems that lasted generations. So what can we learn from this history of wealth? First, wealth isn't just about money, it's about power, influence, and legacy. Some of the richest people in history built industries that still operate today. Others built empires that shaped the course of nations, and all of them, in their own way, transformed what came after them. But there's another side to this story. As the gap between the ultra-wealthy and everyone else grows in modern society, people begin to ask, what responsibility does immense wealth carry? In recent years, debates over wealth taxation, inequality, and economic fairness have intensified. Critics argue that the wealthiest individuals often pay lower effective tax rates than average workers, challenging societies to rethink how wealth should be shared or regulated. History's richest figures left legacies that go far beyond bank balances. Some used their wealth to build schools, libraries, or entire cities. Others fueled wars, financed kingdoms, or defined eras. And today, as billionaires command fortunes of hundreds of billions, we're left to wonder, who will be remembered most, for their wealth or for what they did with it? If you enjoyed this journey through history's greatest fortunes, make sure to like, subscribe, and let us know in the comments which historical rich figure surprised you the most, and why. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.